Well, back again. Yeah, I look a bit like Wurzel Gummies just come in with the dogs. If they start barking, you know they're still alive. For those of you who mentioned yesterday they're part of the show, they weren't supposed to be, but now they think they are. So let's move on. Anyway, first of all, my book, Go, Go, Go. Inspiration for the film, 6 Days. Jamie Bell plays Rusty Firmin in the film. And this is a definitive book of what happened just over 40 years ago. And that's where the film on Netflix, 6 Days, came from. So, on top of that, my other book, The Regiment, 15 years in the SAS. My life story from when I was born until I left the regiment in 1992. Quite a story. So they're both on my website, which I'll come to in a minute. Both books will be on Audible. 6 Days is on Audible now. The Regiment, 15 years in the SAS. That's me right in the middle, you can tell by my eyes. Take a look. That will be out hopefully shortly, and is being looked at as we speak. The print behind me, okay, is called The Resolution. That's me in the middle with no gloves on. My pal's Mink. And there's actually 10 of us should be in that photo. And it was taken by police snipers on the day in 1980. I've got those for sale on my website. And as everything else, you just need to go to www.rusty-firmin.org/shop. Look on there, have a butcher's. If you want anything, you just fill out the format, simple. Pay, comes to me, and everything that goes from me is signed by me with any of the dedications that you put in there. Try and keep them a bit smaller than some of them, otherwise I think I'm writing another book. So if you can keep them short and sweet, that'd be great. I then post them off and you get them direct from me, not a problem. Seems to be going okay. If you can get yourselves and your friends to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which by now you probably know is Rusty Firmin SAS TV. If you can get people to subscribe to that, and it's free, so not a lot in life is free, but that is. And it's doing extremely well, around about 11,000 now, unheard of, really good in such a short space of time. So I'm trying to keep you interested with stuff. It's a bit of fun, lockdown, still got the best part of 10, 11 days or thereabouts before we start moving on. But I will keep going with stories as long as I can. And I hope you enjoy them. The print looks great, by the way. Office, it's A2 size. So there we go. But what I'd like to do more than that is, if anybody wants any other signed merchandise, and here's one today for Richard. Okay. There's the respirator. Okay. Signed at the top. That and any other merchandise you want, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, SAS Special Air Service Military Collectors and Facts page, or search eBay username Sphera_antiques_UK. Sphera spelt SPHERA. It's all on there. Take a look. There's an awful lot of stuff to cover. So now, let's move on to the Killing House Live firing. For those who don't know, when I was in the regiment, it's all in my book. Most of it is in the regiment, 15 years in the SAS in particular, is that yes, I was a CQB, close quarter battle instructor, and what I say is how it happened. I was also a bodyguard instructor for 2 years, teaching the likes of royalty protection. It's not secret, and I won't give anything away that's secret. Don't even ask the question. But I'm quite happy to share what's in the public domain and pass it on, because I can. I was there and I've done it. So we'll go back to the Killing House. I explained yesterday what went on there, what the rooms were for, but didn't go into any great detail. So I'll try and enlighten you guys a little bit, and girls, of what went on. As I say, not a big deal. Let's go back. We know where the room is where you get changed and load up your ammunition. Let's call that the changing rooms. Not the changing rooms on TV, but a changing room where you turn into the guy who wants to go a bit further. And it's a learning room. And also a warm-up room. Shooting's all about techniques, as some of the great shooters will tell you. I was a good shot, but actually I was a good instructor and could teach people what to do. And that's quite important. If you don't get it right in the first place, the end product is back to the waltz, and the waltz take over. But I won't allow the waltz to take over. So they'll be biting at the bit at the moment, because what they pretend to know, they don't know. And if they try and glean anything from this, they'll be waltz number one. And that's what they'll try to do. Never mind. So in the first room, we talked about it being a fairly casual room, really. Normally, the targets would be in front of you, not all around you, but in front of you. And you could fire 6 to 8 people, probably very comfortably. An instructor has to keep his eye on everybody and work at the slowest person's pace. You go too fast, you lose them. Go too slow, things are not going well. But the guys are of a great standard, but you have to start somewhere. Normally I would go into that room, if I was going into the Killing House, before I did anything else, and fire some rounds. Just like anything else, a rugby league player kicks the ball over the post 10, 20 times to get his eye in. A footballer might take 10 penalties to get his eye in. This one you can't afford to get wrong. This is live ammunition. So, why don't we go into the first room? Targets are lined up. The guys are lined up. They're all loaded, waiting to be made ready before they can start shooting. And the instructor takes over and teaches them. And it starts from there. Most people want to learn. Most people want to progress. I was one of them. So the targets are in front, and basically you're looking to make sure that your weapon's okay, it's firing okay, and you're looking more for yourself at the groupings that you're firing on the target in front to make sure you're comfortable with your own shooting. If they're not, the group in itself, you know, everybody likes to try and get a small group. If it ain't going well, we need to work on that and get it to work well. Didn't happen very often. Most of the guys more than competent. But this is what that first room was about. It gave you the scope to swap over, go back, have a think. The next 6 will take over and do exactly the same as yourself. But progressive learning. Never any dramas really, but it's a warm-up for what you're going to come into next. And most people who don't take that opportunity are stupid. It's like learning a trade. You have to learn to progress. And that's what we did. I'm no different than anybody else. You get in front of the targets, the instructor tells you what to do. I'm going to fire a single shot. Bang, bang, bang. No hassle. Check your target, paste them up, the holes, the bullet holes. Go back. Right, we're going to move on to double tap, which is 2 shots fired together. If you're hitting a target, it just means double the hitting power. Bang, 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 bang. Okay? You try to keep the grouping of your bullets because you're in charge of that weapon. The first room has been conquered. The second room is a bit of thought. Don't want to get this wrong because you know what? It's on VCR. And in those days, it was VCR. You're being filmed. Now, you can try and shoot the camera, but actually it's behind bulletproof glass, so it doesn't make any difference if you think you got it wrong. What you have to do is accept what you see is a learning curve. Christ, I made that wrong decision there. I didn't do that right. Oh, I did that right. So it gives you the pluses and it gives you the minuses. And that's really all you can ask. But if you walk in there shooting and think you come out, did brilliantly, as we've all done, and then prove differently, it's a kick in the arse. Next time, you want to get it right. Been there, done it. So there we are. The room, not the biggest room in the world. I don't even know what size it was, but you could do single men, 2 men together, engaging targets, fire and move, and it was all recorded. But you couldn't escape the camera. What the camera says, the camera doesn't lie. Replay, go back again, do it again. Yeah, practice makes perfect. And I'll always remember to this day that it wasn't easy. No, I didn't know a lot of people who thought they knew everything, including me. It's hard work. Sometimes a lot of it is up here because you want to get it right. You know in the future when you're going to use this skill that it's going to be for real somewhere. So we've got the best custom built CQB house or killing house in the land, designed for us. Let's make it work. Which, once again, they did. That isn't or never was a problem. That was part of where we were going. You know, without that, the fact is that everything that we do and train for can fall apart. Remember, there's nobody shooting back in these scenarios. Nobody. So there's food for thought in itself. Get it right in these, chances are you'll get it right on the day, which happened in Princess Gate, May the 5th, 1980. But this is where it all started for me. I had to learn the tools of the trade and become that tradesman. Because in a civilian job, that's what you are. This is military. Mrs. Thatcher was in power. Brilliant. How could you fail? Tough. But it didn't. So the next thing is, we've done that room. I can't dwell on everything, guys, because of the time frame we're trying to work to. But room 3, let's say, was the biggest room, fully furnished, as if you run into a room that was furnished. So now we have all the furniture in the way, the barricades, the targetry is set with hostages in the way, terrorists. You don't know till you run through that door or the opening, wherever you go in, what is inside that room. You have to deal with it singly, in a pair, or sometimes as a 4-man team. And you don't work it out outside the door. What you're told is there's a scenario inside which has been set up and gets changed every single time somebody goes in that room. So it's not the same. So they change it to make it difficult. Stand by, go. Singly, double, together, or the 4-man team. Go in and deal with what's in there, come out. And the instructors have got this thing in their head where they make it as difficult for you as you can. But nobody said it was going to be easy. And that's where we tore into. And that's how we learned. And remember, as I've always said, it's always live firing. You clear the room, you dominate the room, you pronounce the room clear. That doesn't mean anything apart from the hostages are out, maybe the terrorists are dead. You've done the job that you went in there to do. There's a scenario inside which has been set up and gets changed every single time somebody goes in that room. So it's not the same. So they change it to make it difficult. Stand by, go. Singly, double, together, or the 4-man team. Go in and deal with what's in there, come out. And the instructors have got this thing in their head where they make it as difficult for you as you can. But nobody said it was going to be easy. And that's where we tore into. And that's how we learned. And remember, as I've always said, it's always live firing. You clear the room, you dominate the room, you pronounce the room clear. That doesn't mean anything apart from the hostages are out, maybe the terrorists are dead. You've done the job that you went in there to do. And then you go out for the debrief. Yet again, to find out what went right, what went wrong. Learn from it. Right, we're going back in. Rusty, you're not in charge this time, such and such, you're in charge. You're now part of the team, swap it round, off you go. And that's how it works. You don't need to reply, the same person doesn't need to be in charge every time, because our guys were brilliant. And they're the guys that I trained with and worked with and carried out the embassy siege. So I knew them from the 70s, all the way through till I left the regiment in 1992. Have a think. And then, of course, after that, progressed once a little bit further, I mentioned yesterday the last room actually in that particular building was as a fuselage of an aircraft. Seats on either side of an aisle going down, targetry at the front. Normally could have live buddies. Some of the lads used to sit in and watch what went on. Hit the target stops dead, you can see where you've shot, you can rescue the hostages, and it's a minefield. You can go round and round with different scenarios, everyone different. So if you can pass that, it means you're on a good footing for the rest of the training which is to come. Now this went on, don't forget, not just once. First time I ever went into the team, special project team, it happened. Every time I went into the team after that, you'd start at the beginning to refresh yourself and bring yourself back up. You didn't take for granted you knew everything, and never would. So, absolutely, really top drawer training. And you can train, as I've said, reality, not reality TV, realistic training by reality guys of what can happen if there was maybe a kidnap, hostage situation down the line where you're going to have to go and put this training up for real. We know where that happened, don't we? But everybody was ready for it, and everybody was trained for it. All we had to do was give us the mission, and we'll try to achieve. No thought of failing, but there again, why would there be with the training you've had? Let's just do it. And this is not anything to do with being big-headed. This is something to do with knowing that you know what you have to do in an emergency situation. And that's what it was all about. So, the Killing House was absolutely brilliant. And if I could have lived in it for 6 months and just woke up and go shooting, every boy's dream, you know what, for me, why wouldn't I want to do that? Fun? Yes. Hard work? Yes. Did I learn? Yes. Did I get bored? No. Did I need motivating? No. That's myself. And I would think 9 out of 10 of the guys, 10 out of 10 would think the same. So with that, for tonight, I'll leave you. The next one, part 3 if you like, I'll talk about demonstrations for dignitaries and royalty for the such of Princess Diana, Prince Charles, Princess Anne, the Queen, and all the rest. Been there, done it. So, until we meet again, who dares wins. Have a great weekend, whatever happens.